Hello folks! You'll notice that at the beginning of this cast I didn't zoom out from a commander explosion, something of a trademark of mine. That is because I'm now using the new spectator feature. Another thing you might notice, if we zoom out just a little bit further, there's just a little bit of wonky orbiting going on around here. I'm not entirely sure what that's on about. Right, so we have a 3v3 for you today. I would say within the realm. Oh, hello, Mr. Metal Planet. But we have a member of Ballistic Logistics with us, Siggy to be precise. Before we zoom in and have a quick look, I'm just going to read off who's in who, but to avoid spoilers I'm going to be blocking out the bit that I'm reading off because of course it does still show who is annihilated and who's not, even after the game is over. So in blue team we have Martinus, Rocker and Fluffy Bunny. In yellow team we have Cat Marino, Lothar and Siggy of course. All players have spawned in separate locations around this planet, which has pretty much every biome you could possibly hope for, other than lava and mountains. Although it even does have just a smidgen of mountains over here. Right, I've turned off unit icons at closer range for this cast to see how it goes. It still goes just a little bit too far before turning the icons back on. I do apologise for the fast scrolling there, but I do feel it was necessary to test. So we see some skitters coming out from this vehicle factory blue spawn here, getting some very nice scouting indeed very early on in the game. The other blue spawn here, we're going to have to negotiate all of these moons, so I do apologise if they keep sort of obscuring your view. It's going for an air factory, followed up by a bot factory getting out some fabbers, but the air factory is getting out the hummingbirds and presumably got the fireflies out first. Getting some very good intel from the blue team very early on in the game. I believe they already know pretty much mostly where yellow is. Certainly the spawn over there, and these skitters will be approaching this one very soon indeed. And I highly suspect, indeed, there it is, there's the scout of that spawn as well. So blue has complete intel on yellow, who themselves have not even begun to start scouting. The final blue spawn is on the South Pole, getting up an air factory first, followed up by a bot factory, with the energy storage there as well. Nice quadruped commander there as well. Right, looking at the yellow spawns now. Naval spawn here, 2 navy factories already out, getting some orcas and some narwhals, very nice indeed, plus a few fabrication ships, which is good, so be able to claim most of the mechs in this ocean here, providing that one of the blue players do not go for a naval factory. Something yes, I am casting in ChronoCam because of course the internet is not very good at the moment. Still got a few weeks until I'm sort of there we are, internet and streaming capable. So what I'm going to do is I'm quickly going to pause the recording and leave TeamSpeak so you won't keep getting connection loss, because guaranteed it will happen. I will be right back. Right, we're back. Managed to pause it very nicely indeed. So yes, yellow spawns, we've got a naval factory from the other one, a nice air factory here. We've got some fireflies, but they're not doing anything. Hummingbirds coming out as well, and it appears that though this commander is idle, you don't want that at all. You always want to be using your commander very early on in the game so that you get the best possible economic build-up as you can. If I pause over people's bases, that is because I'm just taking note of these building footprints. They are new and I really approve of them now that they've actually got individual building blueprints. I absolutely adore them. At first, every blueprint was that of the vehicle factory, but now it's changed so that they're all different blueprints, which is very, very nice indeed. Right, so over here we have the vehicle factory coming out from this spawn with a Theta commander. Lots of energy as well, very nice indeed. Zooming back in just to get a little bit of the art there, because of course I have taken the unit icons off. Getting some insta-defences here with some walls and defences, and some docks moving out across the battlefield now as well. Very curious indeed, probably going to do some early harassment, but of course this mech's field is now perfectly defended against such small raiding parties as 6 docks. Getting some early orbital up from this South Pole spawn here, very nice indeed. He's not using his commander to assist it, he's only got 1 fabber on it, so potentially their eco is possibly halting just a smidgen, so otherwise you want to be using your commander to get off planet very rapidly as well. An orbital factory as well from this blue spawn. Curious that they've gone for triple orbital factories. Wow. So either they want to get all their commanders off, or they just want to absolutely tank in the orbital layer and claim all the planets in the system as fast as possible, but that is going to significantly hamper their economy. It appears as though they are holding their own, because this bot fabricator is building this bot factory very nicely, and indeed, that's going to go up indeed, and then follow. I'm saying indeed way too much. Then going to follow suit and get some more docks out, I shouldn't wonder. Potentially even some anti-air, but at this point I wouldn't even worry, because given their scouting they won't have seen too much air from yellow. Over here an advanced naval factory from yellow, an interesting proposition given that we haven't even seen naval come out of from blue at this point until now. But of course with the lack of scouting of yellow, they can't really make any valid assumptions at this point, so they're sort of going to go for the claiming of this ocean very nicely indeed. Getting some narwhals and some orcas, formerly known as blue bottles, here as well. Blue doing a lot of mechs expansion, claimed most of this side of the planet now, and even going to T2 bots, or advanced bots if you will. They've even got a little enclave up here with a nice little radar station. Unfortunately they have not got the energy to maintain it. As you can see, because they do provide vision, and they are not providing the extra vision at this point in time. So blue is definitely stalling on energy. They might want to do a little bit of building up first. That's probably because they've got 3 orbital factories on the go, plus a teleporter, plus an advanced bot factory, and they're even starting to assist these now as well. Look at this, absolutely focusing down on the energy there. Probably because they have so many factories. They have 4 vehicle factories here, all going to be producing once their energy is back up. But over here we see yellow getting an orbital factory going out. So with any luck we'll see these planets, if we zoom out, all of these claimed very shortly indeed, and goodness me, what timing that was, as the orbital fabricator goes to the metal planet it seems. So I believe time to set up our camera anchors, and we can do so while we actually examine the planets closer. So going to the next planet, the ice planet here. Not quite hot, but it has a few nice terrain features, very deep crevasses there, very striking features, apart from the fact that it's just been obliterated by a moon and then just magically reappears. We'll just ignore that. That was interesting. Next planet along is the moon itself, that which is ghostly and manages to sloop through other planets for no apparent reason. Lots of mech sites on this one, but it is quite large, and looking at over here we can see that it takes 8 Haleys in fact to launch. The ice planet taking 4, and the metal planet we're about to go to taking only 2. Here is the metal planet, already the teleporter going up from that fabricator we saw flying across the system not too long ago. We can see in the distance on the main planet a Leviathan coming out of the naval factory there. This teleporter going to take not too long to go up now, and then we'll see this metal planet claimed very nicely. Potentially even getting some Haleys there, as it does only require 2. Back on the main, the entrance, shall we say, of the teleporter is almost complete, so we'll definitely see the fabricators move through that once they have the energy, of course, to actually maintain it, because without the energy the successful link between the teleporters is not possible. And at this point it appears as though they want to absolutely go for T2, get the T2 economy and advanced energy, which is going to give them a significant increase to their economic production here. And you can see the animations there, definitely stalling on energy, as we can see with that deep space radar they have constructed, which will allow them to see any orbital unit around any planet in the system, and indeed any which is in transit to any thereof. If you're in an orbital game, this is an absolute staple. Do not neglect this in an orbital game. It gives you invaluable intel, absolutely essential for the game. Even if you're in a single planet game, in a free-for-all, I'd advise getting one up anyway, because something I like to do in large-scale free-for-alls on single planets is to hop into orbital, because no one really expects it. But of course, if you have the radar, you're always prepared. So here we can see docks and fabricators and spinners. I say fabricators, I really mean combat fabricators, as we can see here, just sort of in the way of that artillery fire from the pelters here in this enclave fortress. Excessive pelter construction, and yellow appears to be going for T2 mechs, because they have levelers and shellers coming out as well from their T2 vehicle factory, and they're getting out some Avengers as well. Very nice, very nice. Beginning to claim most of the pond, or the ocean. They've got quite a large navy here, but they haven't taken out this factory. It's interesting that they haven't claimed all of the mechs in and around their spawns, simply because, well, you sort of need to expand in these games. I mean, look at the difference in the expansion. Yellow, reasonably conservative. Blue, rest of the planet. And in the meantime, blue is getting up Avengers and fabricators for the orbital layer, and they're now starting to get up some advanced energy generators as well. So they are going to absolutely start flying ahead in their economy, and they're going to be able to get that teleporter online and get over to the metal planet as well. Indeed, it looks as though they're already over there. I don't think they used an Astreus. They might have done. No, I think potentially they might have just opened it enough to get these through to start doing things there. You can see the energy really having trouble as the teleporter flickers on and off. Very nice effect when it starts spinning, actually. It's really quite... Whoa, hello. Really quite attractive. It'll probably start up momentarily once more. But it really is a nice design. I do love the art. So, back on the main planet, we can see orbital stuff going up here, there, and everywhere. Not too much in the way of orbital defences. Another teleporter going up for blue. Nuke defences going up for Team Blue as well, so potentially we might see some nukes in this game. Deep space radar. Not sure why you've got more than one, because you only need one. So that's a little bit of a waste of energy. You could save yourself a bit of economy by only having one of those. A little bit more collaboration in the teams would work for that one. We see levelers, ants. Well, I say ants, I mean the alleged tank. Oh, they've changed their name again. Are you joking? UTCB. No, it's a UTC-8. What on earth? Let's just take a moment here to facepalm. Right? I will go right up to the mic so you can hear it. That is my facepalm. Let it be known that I am not amused, despite my giggles. Right, so back to the action. We see the dogs moving in on this sort of small force here. They want to keep the levelers out of range of the aggressive parties from blue, and indeed they want to just make sure that the shellers get in range to do enough damage. But yellow also want to get up a bit more air coverage, because they've only got some hummingbirds patrolling their bases, and even then not all of their bases are being protected. Advanced naval fabricators coming out, so advanced economy for both teams now. Going to apologise for the sound in the background if my microphone does pick that up, but people are playing FIFA across the hallway, so I cannot really do much about that. Advanced air going up for Team Blue. We might see some Kestrels, but we'll definitely see some Peregrines to own the skies. We might even see some Hornets, but of course T2 air has been sufficiently nerfed since a few patches ago before Gamma, where, let's say, everyone was in an uproar as to how overpowered they were. Looking at the other planets quickly, I just want to make sure, just a quick scout. So still only the metal planet has an occupation, that being of Team Blue. Back on the main planet here, I will zoom in and let you watch this as I close my window so that hopefully some of the sounds will not come through. Right, apologies for that, but you can see here how this battle turned out. We've got a few Infernos here, but they're not really all that much of a match for levelers. We've even got some Vanguards in the mix from Team Yellow. But again, Team Yellow wants to make sure that those levelers are out of range of the Team Blue, but of course Infernos have practically point-blank range, and the Shellers as well are going to be able to make light work of anything that comes their way. But there's so many docks there, including some Fabricators and some ghillie sniper bots. So if they just move all of those in and absolutely charge them, rather than grouping them all in one, you can get them moving faster if you separate them out. But if they just move them all in, they will make light work of this assault force here. But they do want to be careful because there are 5 Vanguards in there, and those take so much damage. Look at this thing. It's not taking any damage whatsoever. I mean, it only died once the whole group was in range. And again, this Vanguard here, it could move into this whole blob and take out so much. Levelers just dying as well. Shellers. And you don't want to let stuff get caught out in the open like that. Use the Vanguards. Use the Vanguards. You just turn those Vanguards around and this entire blob will disappear. Vanguards are OP. Use the OP-ness. Oh dear. I'm not going to say that fast again. If you want to listen to it again and know what I'm on about, go ahead and skip back, but goodness me, that was dubious. Right, so we have some fartillery here, also known as catapults. By the way, if I ever say fartillery, it either means one of two things: catapults and Hulkins, or early game pelter encampments, which are somewhat undesirable. So you've either got fartillery or fartillery, respectively, for what I said there. And that is a copyrighted term by myself and my friend, who you might have seen me playing with in my Destruction Derby video. Right, some advanced orbital radar going up for Team Blue here. Advanced radar satellite. So they're going to have very nice vision coverage and complete radar coverage almost of this planet now. So they're going to be able to see everything that's going on. And if they can defend it, they will have the biggest advantage you could possibly hope for in a 3 versus 3 like this. As long as they can defend it with, say, 3 or 4 anchors against all of these Avengers. I think you may only need 2 anchors against that many Avengers, but my goodness, if they can do that, they will have sufficient advantage to start doing commander snipes, because they'll be able to avoid defences and use precise nukes if that is what they go for. There's so many anti-nukes going up, I'm not surprised if they have started working on their own nukes. The T2 Air there, almost finished. Indeed, I believe it's just got finished. Let's see what they decide to build with it, as it just enters its final stages of development here. I suspect we'll probably see Kestrels, but most likely Peregrines first. Or they don't notice it, but it appears they've queued up a few. So they're definitely going for T2 Air, but they're not going to be able to build it inside the power gen, certainly. Okay, so they're not. They haven't really utilised the fact that that's built yet. Maybe they're doing other things, certainly at this point. Let's have a look and see what they are doing in their bases. Not too much. I mean, they're just getting more and more air power there. Lots and lots and lots of hummingbirds. And indeed, here we have Hornets coming out. So the bombers there, which can do carpet runs. Nuclear missile launcher down here, beginning to be produced. Indeed, some flak anti-air above it, so that any air that Yellow decides to send in is not going to be effective if they go that way, because of course the flak anti-air has area of effect damage. So anything that comes its way, you want to make sure it's not grouped, because otherwise it's going to go, by which I mean it explodes and you won't see it again. Until of course you make another one. But that, of course, that depends on your definition of cloning and teleportation and whatnot. Anyway, before we get too philosophical, over here we can see just an absolute swarm of air units around this commander. He's not going anywhere. But so many units down here, levelers and stuff going in, but above is what's important. We see all these Avengers taking out the radar satellite. Very nice indeed, but the anchor is there. Can they take out the radar satellite before the anchor kills them all? Indeed they can. They can absolutely deny that radar advantage and intel, but the anchors are just so strong against Avengers. So strong. And that Avenger is going to be picked off if it goes way too close to the anchor. But here we have an engagement. I've changed my settings now, so you won't be able to hear whenever I go into dynamic camera mode, which is a plus. See, the Vanguard's heading up the pack, going to be able to soak up the damage from the, I can't even remember the name now, UTC-8 or something like that. Indeed, plus the levelers there. Desperate defences being set up, but the shellers are going to make nice short work of that. It's always good to have a varied unit composition, because here you can see that before the turrets can do all that much damage, the shellers are just denying them. And they're even managing to get long-range shots on power plants, and they're being defended by both Vanguards, Levelers, and UTC-8s. You know, I'm just going to call them ants or tanks, because I'm going to passively resist this mind-f***ery. I do not approve. Let it be known. Another orbital goes into another Avenger there. However many we have there, I haven't the foggiest idea. We just see so much in the way of projectiles going on. Metal resources are going to go down, but Team Blue, with so many fabricators desperately trying to get up defense, but look how fast those turrets are going up. That's absolutely insane. Absolutely ridiculous. Hornets coming in, taking out all of that force. This is why you need anti-air support. Kestrels as well, I thought we'd see some. Gunships are really quite good in this. But there's still a few shellers and levelers moving in, but of course those are going to disappear very shortly indeed. Moving out of dynamic camera mode, let's just see how far up the dynamic camera can go, because it would be really good to see some orbital battles within dynamic camera. Zooming in on this Avenger here, just to see what angles we can get on it. Interesting. Right, I hear some battles. So much defense going up from Blue. Just getting the shift there, so we've got some nukes being produced as well. Whoa, moving way too fast there, I do apologise. Right, let's move out of dynamic camera mode and see what's going on. We have the rest of the follow-up force here, going able to move in, take out a bit more energy. But the Hornets just absolutely tearing through, no spinners seen whatsoever. So absolutely no defense. The Vanguards are going to get as far as they possibly can, but with T2 air against it, with no defense, they're not going to last for all that much longer, regardless as to whether they keep moving or not. But here you can see just how powerful they are. They're going to absolutely shred through this energy. Interesting they didn't go for the orbital launcher there, because they could have potentially stopped that Astraeus from being launched. Over here we have Yellow's Navy. Lots of orcas, so potentially if they have vision range on these shellers over here, they could start pounding away from the coastline. Indeed, we have a Leviathan over here that looks like it's been taking a few pot shots at a bit of economy and defense. Very nice lighting and art there for the advanced metal sights that are just really quite overpowered. And there's another volley, look at that! Absolutely devastating, but unfortunately it didn't do all that much damage. But Leviathans are beautiful things. Stingrays are slightly more effective because they basically have a portable catapult. So basically they're floating fartillery. Oh, I do love artillery. Right, so we've got air patrols across the ocean here. Again, they haven't claimed these metal sites. Claim them, claim them, claim them, and then you can build more. Of course, your military might is only as good as your economy and your factory production capabilities. And here, shame to say, Yellow definitely is not utilising that, but they do, good to see, have orbital radar, so with any luck they'll be able to see what's going on. Have nuke defences all around, which is good as well. Still no one on the ice planet. Blue has claimed the moon. Very nice indeed. And you see here, the first thing they do, expand to all the metal sites, just get so many fabricators, and just get an area metal production build going on. That's what I do. Either use air fabricators if you're on a smallish planet, or ground fabricators, or a combination thereof. It's up to you. But by the time I expand to a planet, if I have the economy for it, I usually prefer air fabricators, because it means I can just go straight to hummingbirds rather than having to worry about an extra factory. Right, moving back over to the metal planet now. What do we see? Do we see any Haleys going up yet? The answer to that is no. However, we see another nuke launcher. Very nice indeed. So we might even see some interplanetary nuclear action going on. Lots of advanced fabricators here from the vehicle factory. Excuse me. So they're going to get up some lots of advanced economy on that moon as well. So that's going to be their hive of awesome economy. And over here, an absolute flurry of air units. Absolute flurry is just going to make short work of all of this anti-air. All of these hummingbirds from Team Yellow, leaving this base utterly exposed. Utterly exposed. Moving over some narwhals there. You don't want to do that because there are a few kestrels in there, of course. But they make light work of that Leviathan, those orcas and the narwhal as well. Voting to run away. Even, whoa, a nuke in the distance. Got anti-nuked there. Not sure if you saw that as I mentioned it, but it looks as though Blue fired a nuke and was unsuccessful in that endeavour. As we can see here, potentially one of those anti-nukes was fired. It was successful. Alright, so we have so many shellers moving in now. Need I say more? The kestrels are making light work of that spawn. I'm not entirely sure where the commander's gone, if he's still around, that is. Appears as though he's moved over here and decided to hunker down with his ally, but there is definitely not enough defence for all those kestrels and shellers that are on the horizon. This could really be the end of Yellow here. We've even some Hornets moving in, absolutely shredding through this production capability here from Team Yellow. It's amazing they haven't gone for more production. With the economy they have, they can just be spamming out factories at this point and just constantly raiding, constantly destroying, and constantly causing explosions and wreaking havoc. Lots of flak anti-air here, not too much ground defence. And with vanguards on the field, the first thing you want to do is get up ground defence. And then pop up some anti-air behind it, because vanguards will absolutely just... they don't even need to walk through your base, they'll just sort of... I don't even know, frolic through your base? You know. But in short, they will not care what is in their way, they will just move. Nice volleys going off from the Leviathans though, making short work of them. It's interesting to see how naval combats vanguards, because I haven't really seen that matchup before. We've even got some vanguards versus vanguards. A semi-Olympic symbol in the sky there with some anchors. Not too much going on, however. It appears in this game we've sort of got an awkward mix between turtling and not a whole lot else. And it appears as though we also have some lag, which isn't great. Which isn't great at all. I'm going to resume the recording when this catches up. Right, so taking the recording back just about 10 seconds or so. Fortunately, I managed to get back into the game, but as I was saying, there seems to be an awkward mix of turtling and sort of wanting to attack, but only sort of saving up for attacks rather than sort of moving around the side and exploiting the lack of defences and a lack of units. But here the artillery is just going to be absolutely destroyed. I apologise for the Skype message in the background just a minute ago. But certainly these vanguards, levelers and shellers are going to absolutely destroy this base if they get in range. The Leviathans are going to do what they can, of course, to defend, but at this point these commanders want to move away from the front lines if they want to save their skin. There was a ping there. There's a ping there. I believe I was watching the game when that ping went off, and it was probably just there. One of the commanders gets killed. Nuke was anti-nuked, so I believe Blue was basically saying, "Oi, there's two commanders here, have a look." But we've got so many shellers up here, it's absolutely ridiculous. How have we got anti-nukes going in? Of course, because I've had to reconnect. Oh, blimey. There it goes. Right on time. Of course, because I had to reconnect, all my camera anchors are disappearing. We could see explosions from Team Yellow over there in the distance. But we'll also see the orbital nuke making its way across gradually. But at this point, if I was Team Yellow and I had what I had, and apparently no control of any of the other planets, I might consider GGing, because blue at this point has control of 2 planets. They're deciding not to go Halley's though, which is slightly disappointing. But so many nukes here. Absolutely crazy. Not sure when the orbital nuke will actually make landfall. I think it's still orbiting around that planet saying, I want to launch, but I'm not entirely sure. And here's a commander snipe there. Kestrels and Hornets taking out that commander. I think we can safely say blue has, to the greatest extent, got this game in the bag, as this commander is way out in the open. And it is, of course, their last commander getting hit by shellers. So many in the distance there. Absolutely painful. We can try and get some Leviathans in the action over the horizon as they watch their commander die in the distance. Good game. Good game. Although for some parties I might say not so good game, because it was just a turtle fest. Right, so notes to take away from this game: expand, get orbital up early in multi-planet systems, get radar up as well, try not to stall your economy too much, communicate between your teams, and well, do something about your opponent before they overwhelm you. And last, of course, but no means least, Uber Entertainment. What on earth is going on with the naming of the ants? Just seriously. That is all, folks. Hope you enjoyed this game. I'll show you this picture here so you can see the new arrangements. Of course, I'm not listed there. My name is WP Marshall, in square brackets caster, because of course I'm now a spectator rather than a deceased player by default. So, thanks for watching, folks. I hope you enjoyed this 3 vs 3 cast. I know it was casted in chronocams, so of course you would be able to see roughly when the game was going to end, but hopefully you didn't sort of dwell on that too much. But again, do give me any feedback in the comments. I'm always open to it. And why not check out my other content? Hope you'll enjoy it as well. Anyway, on that note, thanks again for watching, and as always, have a good day.